Yo, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to talk you through 4 simple tips and steps that I use when purchasing property. Let's go. Just 1 minute whilst you're here, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button, comment below, let me know what content you want to see, and make sure you like these videos if you are liking them, of course. But yeah, let's jump straight into it. So tip number 1, comparables. Before going out and viewing any property, why not do your comparables and your research on the property before you've been to view it? At the moment, times are very hard with lockdown 2020, property prices are absolutely mad. But prior to this, and you can still use this technique now, the 4 tips that I use, it can be used anytime really. But this is something you want to do, is comparables. What I'll do is I'll pop it up what I'm doing on screen in the top corner. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on Rightmove. Type in location, let's just type in Keighley. And then we want to go on, I don't know, we want quite a few properties, so let's just say 3 mile radius, bedrooms, no min. Let's just see what comes up. So I'm just going to run you through an example of what to do and how to get comparables. Why are they all guide price? A lot of these are auction. Offers over. Guide price. I mean, you can do it on these, but I just want to get a property that's actually for sale. Everything's got a guide price on it because 2020 is just crazy at the moment, very crazy. Okay, let's just click on one. Where's this? Arctic Street. Okay, let's just use this one as an example. This has been on the market ages, this property. So as you can see, pictures of the property, typical your move. Absolutely edited the hell out of the pictures so it looks nothing like any colours you've seen before in your life. So that property's on the market for 67,000. Let's take a look. So what you do is, it's a 2-bed, it's got 1 bathroom. It's already been renovated, sort of, not to a decent standard but to an okay standard to let out. Double glazing, ideal start pack. Attention investors. Okay, then what you do is you scroll down here and you go on market information. You can then see what's for sale in the area. So 0.1 miles, 0.4 miles, 0.4 miles. You want to click on sold. Now sold 0.00 miles, so that's just in the area, so that's sold for 65. There's one here that's sold for 87. Okay, let's look at that. That's been renovated, that's in good condition. That is in good condition, just been renovated. So this is how we're getting comparables off Rightmove. I've probably chose a rubbish property there because it's already had work done to it. Here we go, let's go on this in 70,000, okay? Now bearing in mind this is December 2020, lockdowns hit again, the prices have rocketed, but you can use this when the market drops and starts going back to normal. So it's 70,000 this property, it's a 3-bed, 1 bathroom, it needs work doing to it, we can clearly see that. Market information, sold, so sold in the area 71.5, 8th of Feb 2019, October 82.5, 78. So this is getting your comparables here, and then when you click on them you should get to see the pictures, and that's a 2-bed there, so you can see that. Small pictures that it's got, but it's got pictures. It's a 2-bed and that's sold for 78. That one's on the market at 69,995. So that then gives you a comparable on that. That's just on Rightmove, very straightforward. You can also use a website called MousePrice. See if it hurries up. Let's go to MousePrice. So what you can do is go on Google and type in MousePrice. This is another website you can use. I'm not going to show you because you've got to log in and mess about, but all you do is create an account. It's free. You type in the postcode and it comes up with all the properties on that street. You look on a 1-2 mile radius because that's what comparables estate agents want to see, or valuers want to see on the back end valuation. What else have we got? We've got On the Market. That's another one you can use. That's let's close that off. On the Market, it's another website you can use. That's where you can buy properties. You can see what the end values are. You can see what they've sold for. Very similar to Rightmove. So you've got Rightmove, MousePrice, and On the Market. Another one that I like to use is estate agents. Ring them up, get them to print a sheet of comparables. They'll use Rightmove Plus, or they'll use other websites, but they'll have comparables that have sold in the area. They'll know the area because they're the agent for this sort of location, so they'll give you an indication of the prices, the end values. This is what you want to be doing if you're keen in seeing a property. Obviously book a viewing, but beforehand you can sit down and spend 10-15 minutes to work out if it's going to be worth it. Tip number 2. Okay, so what you need to be doing is when you go and view these properties, it sounds very simple, but a lot of people don't do it because they get distracted. You need to be taking plenty of videos and plenty of pictures. This way, when you've viewed that property and walked away and gone home to do your numbers and research again, you've got all the evidence that you need. You don't want to be going, oh, I'm not going to take any pictures, I'm just going to sit and stand and talk to agent and look around. You don't want to be doing that. You want to be getting the pictures of everything, videos of everything, for when you go away you've got hard evidence, and this can be used for your trades as well. Things you must check and do not forget. Has it got mains water to the property? We're in 2020, so it probably has, but check that. Mains gas, does it have a gas meter in the property or outside? Because that's about £700 to £1,000 just to get mains gas from the road to the property. Has it already got mains gas? Check for electrics. Is the fuse board up to date? When were it last tested? When were it last put in? Is it plastic? Is it metal? Is it the old lead fuse board or the old switch fuse spur thing? The really terrible ones you've probably seen in a lot of dated properties, because that's going to want replacing. So get pictures, get videos of that. If it has got radiators and a boiler, check for the radiators. How many radiators does it have? Are the pipes surface mounted or are they going into the floor? This is a good one. This can indicate whether the main floor of the property is a solid floor or a floating floor or a timber floor. Which is always nice if it's a timber floor because everything will be hidden underneath. Check for boilers, check for paperwork. I always like to check for paperwork. People used to store it on top and still do, or in the cubby next to it if it's a newish boiler or any type of boiler. But on the boiler it'll have a serial number and it'll have a brand. You can type this in into Google, see what model it is, when it was made basically, and then that gives you an indication how new or how old the boiler is. If you're checking for certificates and stuff, you might get to see some paperwork with receipts, so it might give you an indication to when it is, and it actually has a stamp on it, last service 2021 or 2020, so take a look at that. That's always a good one. If it's got UPVC windows or timber frames or aluminium, has any of the panes of glass blown? Are the frames going to need replacing? The front and back door, do you need to put a new UPVC door on them? If it's timber, is it in good condition? Is the cracks, is the little bits of air getting through and causing damp or cold in the property? You need to be checking all these things, getting videos of it, getting pictures of it to take away and put it in your file. A good one that I always like to do, and this can save you a lot of money, check the walls. That's a stud wall. Can you hear the difference? It's a bit tricky because these have been dabbed, but that's got a lot of flex. And you can sort of hear it echoing. That's a bit denser. That is a solid wall, but it's been dabbed, so it's a bit tricky. In an older building, when you hit a solid wall, you'll probably hurt your hand. Are the upstairs walls solid walls? Obviously, if this is a small cottagey type property, then upstairs is normally stud, but in this case you want to check, because if you've got solid walls like that and the full upstairs is, if you've got stud walls like that and all upstairs is just stud walls, then you can rejig the layout. You can make the bathrooms smaller, make the bedrooms bigger, you can add to it, make an extra room somewhere, and this can save you a lot of money if it's stud work, because you just take the whole lot out. Downstairs, is there any supporting walls? Do you need to change the layout? Do you need to knock out? So you need to be checking for solid walls. Get your hand on it. That's a stud wall. That's a solid wall, that hurts. So yeah, that's how you know. You must check this, don't forget, and then write it down on your notes, it's key. If there's a basement, make sure you go down, go down into the basement, look up at the floor. Is the rotten timbers, this is a big issue, is the rising damp, is the rotten timbers, is the broken timbers, or anything wrong with them, is the damp spots? Check the basement. Don't be going, oh, there's cobwebs and mice and stuff, I don't want to go down there. Check for rat droppings, check for mice droppings, because this is a big indication when you're obviously going to buy this property and invest in this property. You need to know how you're going to price this final figure, and then from that you need to know what you're offering. Also a good one, check which side your waste pipes are on. Obviously if you're rejigging the bathroom for instance, you need to make sure you're as close as you are for that, unless you can drop it into the ceiling below, or you can drop it into the floor, whichever, but you've got to bear in mind you've got to get that fall. So again, something else to look out for. Tip number 3, once you've gone away, you've got home, you contact trades, local trades, you ring them up, you send them the videos, how much is it going to be to plaster this house out, here's a video, here's some pictures, even get measurements if you have to. If you can, take a builder around with you, this is going to help you massively. Not everyone can do that, not everyone has the opportunity to waste the builder's time, they're busy at the moment, the trade's booming, but if you can take a trade with you then that's perfect. But they can price off videos, they can price off measurements, they can price off pictures. It's not difficult for them when they can see it, so more pictures, more videos you have from that viewing previous, then it's much easier. This is everything you want to be doing before buying the property, putting an offer in on the property. When you're on the phone to that builder, ring another builder, let's say plasterer, electrician, plumber, get in touch with these guys and see what's the time scale, when can you book them in to start the work, how much is it going to cost, what materials are we going to need. All this, people get scared, how much is a refurb going to cost? Well, all you need to do is speak to multiple sparkies, multiple plumbers and get their price and quotes and timings, and then what you do is you put all this into a spreadsheet, you calculate it all up, and then you've got your final price. And then that takes us on to tip number 4. Ring the agent to tell him that you're interested in the property. Ask if there's been a lot of interest in the property. Has it had 10, 20, 30 viewings? Has it had numerous offers? They're not allowed to tell you what offers it's had, but they do say it's had a couple of offers lower than asking or something in that region. So in this way you can get a margin, an indication on how much you're going to offer on this property. You've done all these 3 steps, meaning you're all ready to go, and you've already got 3 different offers that you're ready to go with. I always like to ask the agent, what's the circumstances with a vendor? Is it a deceased estate? Is it a corporate sale? You know, anything. What type of sale is it? Is it a you know, Mr. and Mrs. that are getting divorced? Because that'll make them want to prioritise the move. They want to move quick. This is the stuff you need to be trying to find out, and sometimes if you've got that relationship with the agent, this can help massively, and you can end up with some good discounts and saving yourself a fortune just by asking these questions before you put the offer in. So you've got offers on your spreadsheet, you know exactly, let's say this, I'm going to use simple numbers, let's say this property's on the market at 100,000. If we're buying it in December like now, and any time in lockdown, then it's probably already 15 grand over what it's actually worth. It's very tricky at the moment, but this video is just general. This is a mad boom, it's a mad time at the moment, everything's got an extra 10-15 grand on top, so it's very difficult. But in another 6-7 months, when something starts coming down and slowing down, the market goes back to normal, then this will work really well. So let's just say for instance it's on at 100 grand. You explain to the agent, I want to offer, let's say 80,000, keep numbers very simple. Before you say I want to offer 80,000, you give the estate agent a valid reason. I want to offer this amount. Wait, don't give them the amount. I want to make an offer on this property. The reason it's going to be this is because it needs a new boiler, it wants full central heating, the floors have all rotten, it's got rising damp, there's leaking windows, it needs all the windows replacing, it needs a full fuse board, the ceiling needs replacing upstairs, there's leak in bathrooms, the timbers in the roof are all shot, it's going to cost me X amount. This is valid reason that he's going to pass on to the vendor and make them understand why you're offering it. Don't just go in and say I want to offer 80 grand and it's on at 100. Let's pretend we're not in 2020 in a crazy lockdown and stuff's back to normal. You know, that 20 grand discount, that vendor's going to feel like, cheeky bugger, why does he want to get that much discount? So you want to be telling the agent to pass this message on, and you've got an explanation to your actual offer. Now this makes massive sense, and then they can pass it on to the vendor. So let's say you're going to offer 80 and he says we'll put it forward to him. Get a feel for his reaction. Oh, that's a bit low, I don't think he's going to accept that. I mean, a lot of agents do this anyway. It doesn't matter if you put asking price in, they'll still tell you it's low. So go on their reaction and then let it settle for a bit, and obviously wait for them to get in touch with you again and see where to go. I like to have 3 offers. A low blow offer with a valid reason, a sort of middle offer, ground offer, that'll still make very good money and it'd be a bonus if we got it at that price, and then a final offer, something that's very realistic and you know it's going to make good money still, but we're not going to top that budget if anything goes wrong, and we're still going to make a certain amount of money in profits. That's what you want to do. So 3 offers. You wait for the vendor to get the offer, you wait for the agent to call you back and you see the reaction. You then go in with offer 2. Hopefully they accept that. If they don't, you've got offer 3 on the back burner. And then if for any reason it doesn't get accepted, then what you need to be doing is following up in a month's time, 4 weeks time, 2 to 4 weeks time. Because again, if you found that information out that this vendor's having a divorce and they need to sell quick, they might not accept you at 80, 90, whatever. But then the solicitors and lawyers might say, look, you're getting divorced, you need to get rid of this property. Next thing you know, they accept 75. So you need to be following up and you need to explain to the agent you're very keen in buying it, you are very interested. If anything happens, keep me updated. If anyone puts an offer in, let me know. That's what you want to be doing. So it's again relationships and making sure you're buying the right properties. But relationships with agents are £1 million. They're worth the weight in gold. You get a good relationship, you're getting the best properties. So that's it for today. That's my 4 tips. I'll just go through them very quick. Tip number 1 is comparables. Use them websites that I showed you before. Make sure you're looking at good comparables in a 1-2 mile radius to make sure you're not going to overspend. Get the end values on a good quality product and then you've got your end numbers. Tip number 2, when viewing a property, take plenty of pictures, take plenty of videos. This is a must. If you don't have this, you're going to go away and you're not going to be able to show tradesmen or builders or anybody or yourself what you actually missed out on or what you need to find. And even if you didn't see it when you were looking about doing the videos and pictures, then you'll see it in the videos or pictures. Tip number 3, contact tradesmen once you've got all this information. If you do tip number 2, then tip number 3 is going to be very straightforward. And then tip number 4, put the offer in and contact the estate agent. Follow them rules and tips that I give. Then 4, there is more of course, but I didn't want to keep going on forever, but they do help you massively. So again, make sure you subscribe, comment, like the videos for future content, and also yeah, let's get buying. Let's get this lockdown ended and let's get some discounted properties. Yeah man, peace out.